Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jordan with Big Boy Toys, and today it's not a good day. This is a pretty massive deal right here. This is basically telling everybody with a 2020 Ford Super Duty that we're going to have to get our transmission fixed. Let's get into it. Okay guys, here is the letter that you're going to get from Ford that basically explains to you everything that's going on. This is the Customer Satisfaction Program 21B03. And it's dated March 31st of 2021. I've highlighted things in green here just to help everybody follow along. So it says this program will be in effect through March 31st, 2022. There's no mileage limit for this program. This customer satisfaction program has an expiration date of March 31st, 2022 to encourage dealers and customers to have this service performed as soon as possible. So I don't know if this means that we have to have it done by this date, or if it goes past that, will they still honor it? I don't know. So down here, effective vehicles, Super Duty F250 through F600, model year 2020. And here's the build dates. So just real quick to show you an easy way to find your build date. This is my window sticker for my truck. And most of you guys should have this if you bought your truck new. If you scroll down to the bottom, I special ordered my truck. But even if you did not, you bought yours straight off the dealer lot, as is, you're still going to have this down here. It just won't say special order. I'll just have these numbers down here. So at the very end of these numbers, you can see I highlighted it. So my build date is February 27th of 2020, 2/27 of 20. So when you guys look at that, you can come back over here and see the build date of February 28th through 2019 through August 10th of 2020. That's for the Kentucky truck plant. And then below that is April 3rd, 2019 through July 31st of 2020 for the Ohio assembly plant. So I am definitely in that range. Also, this is a huge range, guys. I would probably guess that I bet almost every 2020 vehicle was probably built in this range. So if you have a 2020, most likely this is going to apply to you. There might be a few out there that snuck through, but I bet you're part of this. Reason for this program: in all the affected vehicles, a distress number 1 planetary needle bearing inside the ring gear assembly will generate contamination that may produce rough shifts. A wrench light is likely to come on and the transmission may go into safe mode and only operate in 7th gear. As damage progresses, the transmission may only be capable of limited vehicle speed and may not engage in forward or reverse. So there you have it. Also, guys, I'm going to put this PDF in the description. Hopefully you can just open it up as a file. If not, I'll put a link to it, and you can open it there and just go over it as you can in detail. I know I did. So service action: dealers are to replace the number 1 planetary and ring gear assembly per the technical information given in the attached. This service must be performed on all affected vehicles at no charge to the vehicle owner. Mailings will begin the week of March 22nd, 2021, prioritized by emergency vehicles and wrecker vehicles, i.e. like tow trucks. Okay, sold vehicles. This is pretty much for all of us. I know even with the in-stock vehicles on the lot, they have to have these done too. So sold vehicles, owners of the affected vehicles will be directed to the dealers for repairs. Immediately contact any of your affected customers whose vehicles are not on your VIN list but are identified in OASIS, which is probably some computer system Ford has in order to identify the affected trucks. Give the customer a copy of the owner notification letter when available and schedule a service date. correct other affected vehicles identified in OASIS, which are brought to your dealership. Dealers are to prioritize repair of customer vehicles over repair of new and used vehicle inventory, which is good for us. So we'll be head of the line. And then, of course, it goes into stock vehicles. This right here, owner refund. So if you were having these problems and you took it outside of Ford, or maybe you had Ford fix it, they're going to give you a refund for the cost that you incurred doing that. Okay, labor allowances. You can see on a 4x4, you're looking at 10.2 hours. A 4x2, you're looking at 9 hours. It's a pretty big job, guys, when you're talking, 10 hours of labor. And here are the parts required. This is what they need to order. I would guess prior to actually scheduling you to come into the dealership. And there's a lot of stuff here, guys. I'll kind of go over it pretty quick, but it is a lot of things. So here you can see torque converter hub, front support to case, front support bolt, cross member bracket, bolt selector, level cable, fluid cooler tube, torque converter or nuts for the torque converter, bolts for the exhaust lower down pipe, Y pipe to exhaust manifold nuts, 12 quarts of transmission fluid, four by four vehicles only, transmission mount isolator, drive shaft pinion flange strap, front drive shaft pinion flange, bolts, transfer case of transmission, bolts, front drive shaft CV flange bolts, rear drive shaft strap. I mean, on and on, guys. I can go over all this stuff, but it is a lot of stuff that's going on in here. Which, just like I'm sure a lot of you are, I'm kind of sweating bullets by having my brand new truck's transmission opened up by hopefully a competent service tech that knows what he's doing, because this is a lot. These are the unique tools. So these are tools that Ford will provide the service tech to be able to do this. And there is a lot of stuff in here as well. So this is one of the things I found that was interesting too. So for all unsold in-stock vehicles, reinstall and reuse the transmission fluid filter from the vehicle. For all sold vehicles, which is basically all of us, use the following table. So vehicle mileage, less than 20,000, normal wear, reuse trans filter, excessive wear, replace trans filter, greater than 20,000, replace trans filter. So I don't know, Ford. I would just think, if you're going to be in there doing all this stuff, and when you're talking about contamination, which is in the fluid, you would think that even one under 20,000 would be catching some of that contamination. So it sounds like a cheap thing while you're in there to just change that out. But I'm not an engineer, so what do I know? All right, scrolling on. So here is and I will give it to Ford. They really, I'm on page 10 out of 40 right now, and I'm going to scroll through these pretty fast. You'll have to look it over in detail on your own. I don't want to make the video 2 hours long, but Ford really did go into detail on how to complete this fix. So at least the techs have that going for them. But you can see this is the transmission filter that I was just talking about. And you can see this is what it looks like if there's normal wear. This is what it looks like if there's excessive. And if it looks like this, they're replacing it. And there was something else interesting that I seen in here in reference to the torque converters. I'll show you that here in a second. But you see they're actually taking the entire transmission out and putting it on this special stand here so they can rotate it. And I know they flip the transmission upwards like that, and they use a crane, torque converter crane, to actually lift that up out of there. That's what this is here. You can see that. This is a big operation, guys. It really is. All right, so here's what I was talking about, the torque converter. And the reason why I bring this up is I know that there was a recall on bad torque converters. A lot of guys were complaining on the forums about this, and they end up having to get a new torque converter out of it. So inspect the torque converter. If you answer yes to any of the following questions, a new or remanufactured torque converter must be installed. So yes to any of these, you get a new torque converter. Does the sealing surface have a groove worn from the seal? Has a torque converter malfunction been determined based on complete diagnostic procedure? Is a torque converter stud or studs, threaded pads, impeller hub, or bushings damaged? Is there evidence of water or antifreeze contamination? Does the torque converter exhibit external discoloration due to overheating? Overheat discoloration would be a darker color with possible bluing. Discoloration would be a different color than the rest of the torque converter. And you got this little eye thing here, and this is all visual inspection. So any of these happen, you get a new torque converter out of it. And honestly, I kind of hope mine has one of these, just because if they're in there, I'd rather just find a problem and get that done instead of having to come back later and mess with it. So I'm on page 15 of 40 right now, and it basically just continues on like this and goes into detail for the tech on just how to do every operation on how to complete this job. So I'm going to scroll through this kind of quickly, but like I said, you should be able to click on the link and go over it in detail. So here we go, kind of quickly. See, all the plates have to come out of there. It's even talking about when you put this back together, you got to soak these in transmission fluid. All these seals have to be replaced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the type of things that worry me. Hopefully the tech takes real careful care to put these on here and doesn't nick anything. This, I believe, is your planetary gear. Not 100% sure. I'm not a transmission guy, but I think your needle bearings are in there, and that's where the problem is at, but I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I'm not a transmission mechanic. Some more seals that need to be replaced. I'm on page 28 of 40. That's a torque converter shaft seal. So even on here, putting this back together, talks about lubricate the seal with petroleum jelly. So this little tube of petroleum jelly is supposed to go all the way around here. So hopefully, things like this, the techs are completing. It's another special tool. Talking about petroleum jelly again. Put on these seals. Another special tool. I do like that they're very, very detailed with all of this. Okay, page 34 of 40. So even like this here, this has to be torqued in this order: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 onward. then on, well, yeah, so even that has got a lot going on just on how to torque all those bolts in the right order. This is basically them putting it back together and reinstalling it in the truck. And again, this is the letter that should be going out to us. Okay guys, so there you have it. Hopefully that helped some of you figure out what you need to do. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments section, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. And hopefully, if I can, maybe one of the other guys can help out that follow my channel. I'm going to drop a link in the description that will take you to this, so that way you can go over it and read everything that you need to read. And hopefully that'll help you guys out. Please subscribe to my channel. I got videos coming out all the time, and like the channel, that way you can get all the videos that I put out. Appreciate it guys, thanks.